Hey guys, this is Callum from English Shooting, and in front of me I have the brand new Beretta 1301 Comp. We're actually the first outside of GMK within the UK to get our hands on this brand new gun, and personally I've been incredibly excited for it. You will all know that I used to have a Beretta 1301 Comp which I used for practical shooting here in the UK, and I still attest that it is the best gun out of the box for practical shotgun that you can buy today. So I'm going to be doing a benchtop review of the new gun, as well as comparing it to the previous generation and seeing what changes and improvements they've made. Overall, it is a definite improvement over the previous generation. The previous generation did have one particular issue, which was the double feed issue. If you knocked the bolt release during a competition, it would actually double feed rounds onto the lifter, jamming up the gun, which could be absolutely disastrous. Beretta have completely changed the design of the bolt release, eliminating that issue, which was an absolute must. The other thing that will be staring you straight in the face is the new tube. Now, one thing that I did find a little bit annoying when I bought mine was that you had to buy the tube separately. Why it didn't come on the gun as standard, I do not know. But now Beretta have put this on as standard, and it's a Tony Systems tube. It comes as well as standard with a Tony Systems clamp. The total capacity out of the box of this gun is going to be 9+1 because of that tube, and your dealer isn't going to have to order it in separately. You can see as well at the muzzle you've got extended chokes. Again, comes with the gun as standard. I know that practical shooters love extended chokes, mainly so that you can change them quickly, easily, and also make sure that they're tight before stages. Another major change of the new 1301 is the stock. They've gone to the famous Beretta kickoff system, which will allow you to shoot the gun more comfortably, and also means that you won't get as tired shooting this gun. Feedback from Connor's shooting it. Connor's has put 100, 200 rounds through this, and he says whilst it is incredibly comfortable to shoot, he has noticed that you get a little bit more rise from the gun compared to the previous generation, which is a little disappointing. When you're going fast on stills with practical shotgun, you want it to stay as flat as possible. So you may want to be looking at muzzle brakes to get the most efficiency out of the gun. Talking of the stock as well, you can see that they have changed from this checkering. Now, personally, this was the thing that I absolutely loved about the previous generation. It's sharp, it's grippy, it just feels solid. The new overmolded rubber, I think overall is not a benefit to this gun. Yes, it's grippy in the wet, you're going to be fine with it, but I didn't think that there was anything wrong with the previous checkering. The issue that the new rubber has introduced is that when you're quad loading, because this whole surface is incredibly grippy, if you're quad loading it, you'll catch the second two loads onto the fore end, and it can cause issues. Connors was fumbling a few of the rounds while he was loading, and while we're looking at the underside of the gun, the other slight disappointment with this new Beretta 1301 Comp is the fact that they haven't opened up the port even further. Now, on the previous generation, it is opened up and it is ready to go. You will be able to quad load with it, but they haven't changed it. A lot of the feedback from high-level practical shooters was that it needs to have a deeper cut, it needs to be opened up even more and further back. As I said, it's a little disappointing that we haven't seen Beretta implement that change. Other things that have remained the same on this gun, well, it's still drilled and tapped on the top for optics, so that's ready to go. You've got a really high, wide rib on the gun, which is great for acquisition, still with the mid bead. A slight change, this gun is coming with a green bead, whereas the previous generation has an orange-red bead. What difference that is going to make, that I think that's mainly going to come down to personal preference. You've got the same charging handle as well. If it ain't broke, why fix it? For me, the single biggest improvement on this gun has to be the lifter. A modification on the previous generation was to weld up the lifter so that it stayed open while you were loading. This comes as standard on the new 1301, meaning that it's going to be more consistent to load, it's going to be easier to load, and all round better for practical shotgun. We have been told also that there have been changes to the gas system. Of course, the 1301 Comp is a gas system gun, and it could be particularly picky on the ammunition that you use. I remember having to use fairly expensive, high quality 32 gram loads in the 1301 that I had to have consistent reliability. With the new gun, they've gone for a different spring, meaning that it should be more consistent and should have a lot more tolerance to different loads and different rounds, which is a fantastic improvement in my books. Then, of course, it still has the blink system, and as I've said before, my thumb has felt the benefit of the blink system, having actually released the bolt onto my thumb while cleaning my 1301 when I used to have it. It's an incredibly fast system. I think yet again this gun is going to be a fantastic contender for being the best gun out of the box for practical shooting. I know many people will disagree now with the likes of the Beretta B12i and the Benelli SP, but there's just something about the 1301 that personally I absolutely love, and when I get fully back into Section 1 shotgun shooting, it is going to be a very hard decision that I have. At the moment, I am leading towards the 1301 Comp, but we'll see if that changes. So there we go, guys, a benchtop review of the new 1301 Comp and a comparison to the previous generation. We will be shooting this gun a lot more. I'm sure Bluefield Sports is going to get one in stock. Well, it's a blue gun, how can Alex not? So we should be seeing a lot more of it, and potentially seeing a lot more on it on the channel when I get to shooting Section 1 shotguns again, but we'll have to wait and see. There we go. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable, and as always, I hope to see you soon.